A critical statement made by the Russian Ministry of Defense in the early hours of November the 15th sent shockwaves through the military command center in Kyiv. The statement announced that the attack, coordinated by Russia's Iskander-M operational tactical missile system and Geran-2 suicide drones, ended one of Ukraine's most ambitious long-range drone deployment plans before it even began. This operation, which took place near the village of Lavy in the Chernihiv region, was not limited to the destruction of just 100 Lyuty-type long-range UAVs. It also dealt a severe blow to the Kyiv regime's terrorist intentions against Russian territory by neutralizing dozens of Ukrainian personnel and breaking the backbone of the country's drone attack capabilities. For Moscow, this operation carried a deeply calculated strategic message far beyond a mere battle success. Russia's anti-drone strategy against Ukrainian forces equipped with Western state-of-the-art technology is evolving dynamically and gaining increasingly lethal effectiveness. The scale of the destruction in Lviv demonstrated to the entire world the sharpness of Russian intelligence and the striking accuracy of its strike forces. According to official Russian sources, the operation was the result of a flawless intelligence strike force cycle. Russian military intelligence has determined that the Kyiv regime has amassed 100 Lyuty drones at an advanced position in the Chernihiv region to target civilian infrastructure deep within Russia, residential areas, and peaceful civilian life. These drones were being prepared to launch a massive, inhumane attack on Russian cities under the supervision of Western advisors. The convoy of 20 trucks was a mobile launch platform carrying this deadly cargo. The Russian command acted without delay. A single Iskander-M operational tactical missile successfully evaded Ukrainian air defenses by following an extremely complex route and struck the very heart of the convoy, hitting the point where the most heavily loaded ammunition trucks were located. The initial explosion caused by the Iskander-M's powerful warhead was followed by a massive chain reaction explosion resulting from the fuel and warheads of the drones being carried. A sea of flames instantly erupted on the field, and smoke clouds rising hundreds of meters high darkened the sky. However, Russia's coup was not limited to this. As the first shockwave was still spreading, the Geran-2 suicide drones in the sky launched the second wave of attacks. These cheap, effective, and deadly drones systematically hunted secondary vehicles, logistical support elements, and Ukrainian emergency response teams trying to reach the scene, all fleeing in chaos. The result was a complete disaster for the armed forces of Ukraine. Not only were 100 drones destroyed, but also nearly 60 highly trained personnel, UAV operators, technicians, electronic warfare specialists, and truck drivers, who would have made the drones operational, launched them, and managed them were also killed. This loss is an irreversible blow to the Kyiv regime's long-range drone strike capability. This operation went down in history as a victory for Russia's doctrine of deep war, which it conducted beyond the front lines, deep within enemy strategic depth. Russia has once again demonstrated its determination to destroy the infrastructure, personnel, and targets needed to use these weapons, despite the endless flow of Western arms to Ukraine. This attack fundamentally shook security in Ukraine's rear, sending the message that no point is safe from Russian retribution. This was not the first devastating blow the Iskander-M systems inflicted on Ukraine's air capabilities in the Chernihiv region. Just 2 weeks ago, Russian forces launched a precision strike on a Ukrainian S-300 PS surface-to-air missile battery near the settlement of Ilerche. The results were equally devastating, with an acquisition and engagement radar, 2 launchers, a mobile command center, and 2 support vehicles completely destroyed. Secondary explosions and fires had completely engulfed the site, and subsequent discovery footage confirmed the presence of a Ukrainian evacuation group during the attack. These successive attacks paint a clear picture of Russia's evolving strategy. Instead of focusing solely on trench warfare at the front, Moscow is increasingly targeting the support and launch infrastructure that forms the covert backbone of Ukraine's drone and missile operations. Russia is not only neutralizing immediate threats by attacking launch sites, convoys, and logistics centers, but also strategically weakening Ukraine's ability to sustain a long-range attack campaign over time. In this context, the strike on November 15th was not just a tactical success. This was part of a broader and more ruthless campaign aimed at disrupting Ukraine's deep strike capabilities and re-establishing Russian dominance in the skies. At the heart of this operation were Russia's two most versatile and feared weapons, the Iskander-M, operational tactical missile system, and the Geran series suicide drones. Iskander-M has long been a cornerstone of Russia's precision strike capability. Its ability to carry heavy loads with pinpoint accuracy makes it ideal for high-priority, sudden, and overwhelming attacks like the one on November 15th. However, Alexander's role in this operation was only one part of the equation. The real game-changer was the Geran drone family, which became one of Russia's most effective tools in asymmetric air warfare, initially introduced as part of Russia's expanding arsenal of loitering munitions. The Geran 2 has changed the landscape of drone warfare. Its relatively low cost and simple design made it ideal for mass deployment, while its ability to penetrate enemy air defenses and cause strategic-level damage at a fraction of the cost of a conventional missile made it a formidable weapon. The latest versions of the Geran 2 have received significant upgrades, including improved satellite navigation systems, advanced electronic countermeasures, and an extended operational range exceeding 1,000 kilometers. These upgrades make it increasingly difficult to detect and stop the drone, allowing it to operate more effectively against modern air defense systems. Additionally, its advanced endurance and loitering capabilities allow for continuous surveillance before a strike, ensuring maximum effectiveness. However, military analysts believe that the attack on November 15th may have included not only upgraded Geran 2 units, but also the new Geran 3, a more advanced and less documented evolution of the system. Initial reports indicate that Geran 3 offers significant improvements over its predecessor, including increased payload capacity, a longer range potentially exceeding 1,200 kilometers, and enhanced stealth features that reduce radar signature while building upon the strengths of the previous system. Some sources also suggest that Geran 3 contains a more advanced guidance package, giving it the precision needed to hit moving or time-sensitive targets. Exactly like the convoys and mobile drone launch units near Lviv, the potential deployment of the Geran 3 in this operation would mark a new phase in Russia's drone warfare strategy. This would be a clear signal that Moscow is not only increasing production but also constantly improving its loitering munitions to stay ahead of and neutralize Ukrainian air defenses. When combined with Iskander-M's high-speed precision missile strikes, the Geran series, especially with the emergence of Geran 3, represents a layered, adaptable, and extremely economical threat capable of dismantling Ukraine's most advanced and ambitious air operations before they even take off. The synergy between these two systems is not accidental. While the Iskander-M delivers a rapid and highly explosive initial strike against hardened targets, the Geran drones exploit the resulting chaos to hunt down remaining vehicles, secondary targets, or retreating troops. This attack fully demonstrated the combined destructive impact. Iskander missiles crippled the convoy's core infrastructure, and the subsequent waves of Geran drones provided complete destruction, leaving nothing of Ukraine's expensive and rare drone fleet but a pile of smoking wreckage. This victory holds critical significance within the broader context of Russia's special military operation. Western powers continue to wage a proxy war against Russia by financially and militarily propping up the Kiev regime. However, the events in Lviv highlight the inherent fragility of this strategy. Russia is waging a deep, integrated, and intelligent war that directly targets its enemy's will and ability to fight. Every forward position on the front, every tank, every infantry unit is only effective as long as the logistics that supply them, the systems that provide them with intelligence, and the defenses that protect them in the air remain standing. Russia is systematically destroying exactly these vital support systems. This situation is evident across the entire front line, as Russian troops make relentless advances on heavily fortified Ukrainian positions like Avdiivka, Marinka, and Vuhledar. In the background, the Russian Air Force, artillery, and special forces are constantly hitting Ukrainian supply lines, command centers, and ammunition depots. This grinding war is not just about physical losses, it is also systematically eroding the morale, resilience, and ultimately the fighting capability of the Ukrainian army. Russia's superiority lies not only in numerical or technological dominance, but also in operational art, the deep integration of intelligence, and the seamless synchronization of different forces: land, air, sea, and electronic warfare. The destruction of the drone convoy in Lviv is a concrete manifestation of this superiority. This symbolizes Russia's success in developing an integrated and multi-dimensional counter-strategy to neutralize the single weapon systems provided to Ukraine by the West. In conclusion, what happened in Chernihiv on November 15th is a microcosm representing the course of Russia's special military operation. Russia is maintaining the initiative, proactively disrupting the enemy's intentions, and paying the necessary price to protect its own security and sovereignty. The symphony of Iskander missiles and Geran drones not only destroyed a convoy, but also sent a message to the Kyiv regime and its Western backers that Russia's will, innovation, and military power are capable of neutralizing any threat against it. In these lands, stretching from the mines of Donbass to the waters of the Sea of Azov and from the vast plains of Kherson to the industrial suburbs of Kharkiv, Russia continues to act with the determination to establish peace and protect its own people. The victory in Lviv is just a milestone on this long and arduous journey, but it is a testament to the professionalism of the Russian armed forces, the sharpness of Russian technology, and the unwavering belief of the Russian people in the righteousness of their cause. The operation is ongoing, and final victory will undoubtedly be on the side of truth and history. Now let us briefly tell you about the events taking place on other fronts. In the Sumy region, an FPV operator from the 30th Motorized Regiment of the Russian Sever Group filmed an attack by a Molniya kamikaze drone on a temporary deployment point of the Ukrainian armed forces. As a result of the attack, the building housing the Ukrainian forces was completely neutralized. On the Pokrovsk line, the crew of the Russian Unmanned Systems Battalion and the 215th Reconnaissance Battalion neutralized another vehicle used by soldiers of the Ukrainian armed forces. A T-72B3M tank of the Russian 27th Motorized Rifle Division, Center Group of Forces, destroyed an ammunition depot and a temporary deployment area of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Krasnoarmysk direction. During the fierce fighting in Dmitrov, tanks from the 5th Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade, part of the 51st Guards Combined Arms Army, continued to play a key role in supporting assault forces, destroying groups of the Ukrainian armed forces. Russian tankers have launched devastating attacks on Ukrainian forces' hidden firing positions. Ukrainian troops are making desperate attempts to break out of the encirclement, but their only chance of survival appears to be laying down their weapons and surrendering to Russian forces. Iskander-M missile systems and unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, belonging to the Russian armed forces, destroyed the positions of 2 Neptune mobile coastal missile system launchers and a HIMARS multiple launch rocket system belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces near the village of Vasilyevskoye in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Russian drone operators launched an attack on an armored vehicle belonging to Ukrainian forces at an intersection near Kupiansk, preventing it from reaching its mission area. Guards from the 68th Division of the Russian Western Group of Forces continued to block attempts by the Ukrainian armed forces to reach besieged units near Kupiansk, Kharkiv region. The attack drones have injured several Ukrainian soldiers. The Russian Anvar Special Forces unit is supporting the Russian military offensive in the Kharkiv region by destroying Ukrainian armed forces' drone control centers. Russian Special Forces personnel continue to operate around the clock, destroying Ukrainian drone control centers one by one. Russian FPV drone units spotted Ukrainian armed forces soldiers on their way to their deployment areas in the Konstantinovsky direction. They completely destroyed the Bandera vehicle in a two-stage attack, making the Ukrainian soldiers a clear target. UAV operators from the Russian South Group are detecting and destroying Ukrainian armed forces robotic vehicles along the Donbass line. These vehicles, typically used to transport supplies, weapons, and ammunition, will undoubtedly disrupt Ukrainian troop logistics. In the Seversky direction, special forces affiliated with the Russian Southern Group continue to destroy Ukrainian elements they have identified in the area where they operate. FPV drone operators successfully destroyed a Ukrainian electronic warfare station with a kamikaze drone attack. The Russian armed forces are continuing their work on the Donbass front without slowing down. Following the detection of a UAV control center belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces in the Seversky direction, artillery units of the 3rd Combined Arms Army of the South Group destroyed the control center with a precision attack. Ukrainian propaganda has caught on again, this time with a date change. Kiev media has released heroic footage claiming Ukrainian special forces entering the center of Kupiansk. Yes, the video does indeed feature special forces soldiers. But there's a problem. The video is from 17 days ago. It was shot in October, not even November. In other words, the Ukrainian side is presenting old footage as recent successes amidst the losses and daily retreats on the front lines. The Ukrainian armed forces are not entering Kupiansk. They are leaving. In the direction of Kupiansk, Russian FPV drone operators detected a truck belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces and launched a precision attack on it. The Russian Azov regiment continues to destroy Ukrainian forces and control centers belonging to the 3rd Army Corps. The supply, delivery, and rotation routes used by the Ukrainian armed forces towards Krasnolimansk appear to be entirely under Russian military control. Footage shows attacks on 3 pickup trucks and a drone control center. During combat operations in the Seversky direction of the Russian Southern Group, FPV UAV crews destroyed a camouflaged infantry fighting vehicle that was detected in hiding by Ukrainian forces.